Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. So in this video I'm going to go through my team selection video for game week 9. I'm going to talk about captaincy, who makes my starting 11, who I'm going to bench, and also my transfer plans. We'll touch on my wildcard strategy as well. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and in the meantime, let's take a look. Game week 8 then, it seemed a long time ago before we broke up, before the international break, but it was quite a kind week for me. I think I was one of the few managers that still managed to get a green arrow, but without owning Haaland. I captained Son, that didn't really pay off, but because Haaland blanked anyway, I ended up with more points. But my one redeeming player, I guess, was Sterling, and boy, it felt good, I have to say. Defensively, Onana didn't outscore Turner. Don't think again at home to Brentford that was a bad decision, but Man United defence just not really performing. Dan Burn, they conceded away at West Ham. Ashley Young, who are brought in for really this 2-week punt, he did alright. His underlying stats have been fantastic over the last few weeks, and it was just completely out there. Everton had 2 home games. They didn't keep a clean sheet in that first one, but they did keep one against Bournemouth, and Ashley Young came in with 5 points. Got another booking, unfortunately. And the doggy did decent for me as well, keeping that clean sheet. Son, like I said, he was my captain. He got 6 points. Odegaard and Foden playing against each other. That was always a worry. But Sterling really stole the show, and Jackson chipped in as well. So I've been really patient with both of those players, keeping faith with the fixtures. Before the deadline, there was lots of concerns about Sterling not playing, Saka not being fit enough, Jackson might not be in, Bruyere might take his place, even Saliba was a doubt, and he ended up with 7 points on the bench. But in the end, I ended up taking out Saka because I was worried, and keeping Sterling for that fixture. And when I took out Saka, I brought in Son, so I got a few more points, although Mitoma possibly would have come on, so maybe I'm 4 points better off there. But really, it could have gone either way. I could easily have taken Sterling out because he was a doubt because he didn't play the game before. But just really pleased. Absolutely made up that he got the points. And I kept with those 2 Chelsea players all the way through their good fixtures, which have now come to an end. So I have to do something with them. But yeah, in retrospect, I could have come off him earlier. I don't know. It was great to get those 16 points anyway. And even Jackson off the bench was a real cherry on top as well, scoring that goal. So in terms of overall rank, that gave me a green arrow. Only a small one. I think by the Saturday when Sterling had performed really well, I was up inside the top 150k. Because not many teams have played, the Sunday put me back down. But I still ended up with a green arrow overall, 620k. It's not the worst. It certainly could be a lot worse. I've got 1 free transfer and I've still got my wild card, so I think I'm in a reasonable place at the moment. My team value is getting hammered, I have to say. I've got 0.2 in the bank, but lots of players going down, players that I want to buy going up, so it is an issue, but I can't do much about it now. I'm still fully intent to wild card in game week 10. I'm committed to that, but in the meantime, let's have a look at how I shape up for game week 9. I could, of course, wildcard in Game Week 9, but I've talked about it in previous videos. I just think the fixtures turn for quite a few teams that I don't really want to get onto this week, but I definitely will to next week. I think Villa have got a difficult game against West Ham at home. It's a green fixture, but I'm not sure. I think it doesn't feel like a green fixture. West Ham playing well. And West Ham equally have got Villa away, so that's not an easy fixture for either of those sides. But after that, the fixtures really swing well for them. Brighton is the team I want to get onto. Got 2 players already, but I don't really want to play them away at Man City, but I will certainly be interested in them moving forward. And Arsenal had Man City and then Chelsea. I don't really want a couple of their players, but I do want to get Saka back in. But I've got choices to make as well as to which ones of those I'll bring in. And Chelsea I don't really want to keep in at all either. And I've got Sterling and Jackson in the side because their fixtures just don't look great in longer term either. So, got a few issues, but the side doesn't look too bad this week. I am concerned if Saliba doesn't play. I do feel like he will play because he's had a flag on him before, but Arteta tends to play him. If he doesn't play, Ashley Young comes in because Estepinian's out, and I really don't want Young playing away at Liverpool, so I could make a defensive transfer, taking out maybe someone like Estepinian and bringing in someone else in, and we'll look at those options in a minute. Alternatively, I've got Odegaard that I'm not really massively keen on away at Chelsea, but I can live with it. Sterling at home to Arsenal, again, not the greatest fixture. And Jackson at home to Arsenal, I'd rather play Saliba, I think, than those 2 Chelsea players, because I think there's more chance of Chelsea, of Arsenal keeping a clean sheet than there is of Chelsea scoring. but I'm going to have to play one of them. Possibly Matoma could come in for Sterling, and then I'll keep Odegaard, and then I'll make a Jackson as a transfer. So I could make a defensive transfer. I could certainly take Sterling out or Jackson. Those are my three choices. Defensive transfers, not very exciting, but I could go for Tsimikas. Robertson is out long term. He could definitely be one on a wild card that I'm looking at. If it's short term, I could still just take a punt and a 1 week against Everton. There's a small part of me that just wonders whether he is going to play or whether Joe Gomez will go there. But again, I do think Tsimikas is the obvious sort of backup left back. 4.4, it would just be literally a 1 week punt. And if Robertson looks like he'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks' time, I probably won't go with him on a wild card. I'll probably end up going for Matip. Otherwise, I could still stick with Tsimikas if it's longer term and get some price rises if they come for him as well. So he's only played about 4 minutes this season, so that is a worry. So Tsimikas, if I knew he was starting, I think as a 1 week punt, I don't mind it. And then it just stops maybe Saliba playing. But again, I'm not sure that's the worst thing in the world. In terms of midfielders, I've got a few choices. So I could take Sterling out. That would be my one choice. I think I'd rather keep Odegaard away at Chelsea than Sterling at home to Arsenal. And Gordon looks decent, 0.6. He's got a fit of Palace at home. Remember, this is just a 1 week punt, so the rest of the fixtures just don't matter. Palace at home. Palace, look, though, defensively aren't that bad. So again, maybe that's not the best place to go. I could go Luis Diaz again, but there is some concerns over the fact that he's not going to be back from international duty in time, a lot of travelling. So I am ending up thinking that perhaps the way to go is James Maddison. I think since I've put this together, he's got up to 8.2. Still, I can afford to go with him by dropping maybe Odegaard instead of Sterling. So that would have to be the thing that I have to do. But at home to Fulham looks like a decent fixture. And he's absolutely nailed in that side. Possibly on pens as well. So for security, I think Maddison and the fixture, he looks the way to go. So Sterling could come out. I think more likely, if I didn't take Sterling, it would be Odegaard. But for the time being, we'll put Maddison in there instead. Or the other choice would be I'd take Estepinian out and go for Tsimikas. I'm not considering going for a hit. There's just not enough weeks to get that money back. And I don't think there's enough value in taking the 4 points to get Tsimikas and Maddison in. I'd just rather play with Saliba at the back and Jackson up front. Mitoma could probably come in for Jackson as the other option. I think I would rather do that than play Jackson. Just Mitoma for Brighton, a bit more attacking, playing pretty open. So that's the way I go. And finally, I'm just not considering anyone else other than Haaland for the armband. Brighton do concede goals. They play a very open, aggressive, pressing style of football. That looks like a really high scoring game potentially for me, and I think Haaland's going to get chances. So more than happy to keep Alvarez and Haaland in. So this will be my side for game week 9. I'm happy, as I said in game week 8, to pretty much tread water. If I can come out of this with a similar game rank, it's around about 600k, I think I would take that now. I'd be fairly happy because this isn't the greatest side, and then I can really start to attack with that wild card and hopefully get a lot more green arrows. But for the time being, I think this is alright, and I think most likely, after waiting for those press conferences, it's going to be the Odegaard to Maddison move that I'm going to make. That's it for this one then, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you think there are any better options for a 1 week punt, or who you are going to bring in for game week 9. In the meantime, we'll come back at you with a wildcard video for game week 10, because that is when I'm going to trigger and put my wildcard into action. We'll have team selection videos, watch lists, all that good stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And in the meantime, good luck with game week 9.